Beetlejuice there mentions the sandworm. It's one of the amazing scenes in the film. Where did the idea for that particular monster come from?
Well, again, a little bit of stop motion, you know. But, I mean, as you can tell from the film, it's not state-of-the-art special effects we're dealing with here. Which was fun, too, you know. I mean, that had a certain cheesiness which was somehow acceptable with this. But, you know, like I said, the main thing for me was the actors. It was so much fun to work with those guys.
So the effects, I always thought the effects were purposefully like that, so that we would always...
Yes, of course.
Good.
It's all planned, everything down to the... Yes, no, I mean, a little bit of it was a budgetary concerns, and, you know, the old days before technology, you know, you could do that stuff. So, you know, stuff on wires and stuff. But that was all part of the kind of, you know, handmade quality to it.
I've always loved that about your films, that you really feel the human presence, even when they're laden with special effects, even the computer stuff. You can really feel your presence.
We try, you know. I mean, even when you're doing with CG stuff, I mean, you're still working with artists, so it's like, you know, they still got to animate things, and so it's the same process. It's just different mediums, really.
Beetlejuice is one of your famous monsters. Your films are often populated with monsters, but they're not the monsters we're necessarily used to associating with monster movies. They're often sympathetic. You often really identify with the monsters in your film. What is it that attracts you or interests you about monsters?
Well, I think it's from the very beginning of my life. You know, I loved any kind of monster movie because I could relate to them. You know, they were usually the thing, and it all comes down to the themes of perception. You know, they're perceived as something horrible or bad, when usually the things with the most soul or the most, you know, so that sort of theme of misperception, things aren't always what they seem, has always been important to me.
The film you followed up Beetlejuice with also had monsters in it, but more the human kind in Batman. I distinctly remember going to see Batman in theaters and coming out and telling everyone I could that it was the greatest movie ever made, and that they had to go see this film. I think it was a really key moment in entertainment in that it brought back comic books, but you're not a big comic book guy.
No, but I like Batman. I mean, that was my favorite of all the comics for sure. And, no, I mean, at the time, anyway, we felt we were doing something different, you know, because up until that time, it was all, comic book stuff was more light and campy kind of stuff. And so it was exciting to try to, you know, bring it back to a bit more of its roots and you know. So it did feel like kind of new territory at the time.
And you're again dealing with a very iconic character that's very well established, and yet you managed to make him your own in a way.
Well, I mean, you try, you know, even if you're doing adaptations of something, you try to personalize it. You know, it feels like it has to feel like it's your own thing, you know, even if it's an adaptation of something, because, you know, you're spending so much time with it and so much of your heart and soul that, you know, you have to kind of make it yours.
Batman also afforded you your first opportunity to work with Jack Nicholson, of course, in The Joker. How did you know, there's these incredible drawings of the Joker, these concept drawings downstairs. Was that really the way you wanted to position the character?
No, he was very, you know, because that was the first big movie I did, and he was very supportive of me and very helpful. I mean, because, you know, this dude was trying to kick my ass every day, pretty much. But he, you know, he was cool, and he really helped me kind of to get through it. No, but again, it felt exciting, it felt fun, it felt new territory at the time, so, you know, good.
Let's take a look at a scene from Batman.